Good afternoon, good afternoon. It is 2 o'clock on Saturday the 2nd of March 2024 and this is the first of several information sessions regarding my Learn to Line Dance with Richard membership. Now I've got two cameras, so if I'm looking up and down it's because I've got two cameras and I'm not sure they're best placed, but hopefully you can see me, hopefully I'm live. I'm just, while we're waiting for people to hop on, I'm just going to make sure we are actually live because I don't want to be sitting here talking to myself, which I'm very good at, but let's just make sure we are actually live. Okay, we're live on Facebook, that's good. And we're live on YouTube. YouTube can still see that camera. I'm sorry, you can see the top of that camera there, I do apologise. In my field of view, you can't. Hello, I can see you and I can hear you, excellent. B. Shalley's here, good, good, good. Do drop us a comment as you come on. I will try to read them all. When I'm talking and going through things, I may miss them. But do drop us a comment, I can always review them afterwards. Yeah, as you come on, let us know where you're watching from. That would be great to know. And I'm just gonna kill a moment or two. There's 3 people on YouTube. I don't think I've got anybody watching on Facebook at the moment. I'll give them a minute or two to jump on. Now this is a question and answer session. I did post on my page, my Learn to Line Dance with Richard Facebook page. I did post about 10 days ago. Ask me some questions. Because it's a question and answer session and I kind of need questions to be able to answer. Unfortunately, at the moment, I think I've only got 3 questions. Could be a very quick question and answer session. That said, I can talk for England, so I can probably fill it quite nicely. I'm not liking the YouTube video. I do apologise, YouTube. I might just try and move you while I'm killing us. I had it one way and then I changed it, and now I think I'm going to change it back, so excuse me. That's just, you watch, I'm going to knock the oh, hang on. YouTube's lost me because there's no one behind the other camera. I'm still here, don't worry. Okay, so that's a bit better. That's a bit better. So I've now got 2 cameras right and left. So if I'm playing tennis, that's why. Okay, so we're live on there. So yeah, if you have got any questions, again, I'm going to say pop them in the comments to these videos, whether you're watching on YouTube or whether you're watching in Facebook, if you're watching live. If you've got questions and you're watching in catch-up, still pop your questions down. If I see them, I'll try and comment on them, or I might be able to answer them on the next live, because I'm doing this again. This is my first Q&A. I'm doing exactly the same session again tonight at 8 PM. You don't need to come to both. If you're here, you don't need to come to both. But if I do get some more questions asked between now and then, I will answer them on the 8 PM session. So, let's make a start. There's a few people watching on YouTube. Facebook looks a bit quiet at the moment, I think. Oh, no, Angie's watching. I've got at least one on Facebook. Facebook isn't actually telling me how many people are watching, which is not very helpful. But drop me a comment. Do let me know. Let me just see if I can bring up the comments. Live chat. Oh, Diane's watching on YouTube. Hello, everybody. Hello, Diane. Let's just see. I'm just going to drop a comment onto Facebook because that normally kick-starts. Let's see if I can see them now. So, question and answer session. Haven't got many questions, so I'm just going to talk. I'm hoping that's okay. If you think of anything, if you've got any questions as we go through, like I say, do drop them in the chat. If I see them, I will answer them there and then. If I don't see them, I will answer them later on and tonight at 8 o'clock. So welcome. I'm pleased you're here. I'm getting comments now, which I don't want to read. Gary's watching from Chesterfield. Yeah, I'm not going to be able to read these comments because I'm just going to keep losing my train of thought, which really doesn't make a very good video, does it? So welcome. I'm really pleased you're here. I'm really pleased you're interested in the membership. Some of you have already joined, so we've now had new members since we opened the doors midnight, Thursday night, Friday morning. 8 new members. Well done, really happy with that. So I've already welcomed and said hello publicly to Thomas, Fiona and Mindy. Since then, we've had Sonia, Barbara, Dave, Natasha, and by the skin of her teeth, about 10 minutes before I went live, Abby. So welcome to those 5. Really pleased you're here. I think Barbara is watching on YouTube, which is really good. The others, I'm not sure whether they're here or they're going to maybe watch this and catch up. Yeah, the doors are open. People can join at any stage until they close, that is. But this session, the idea of this session is to answer your questions, is just to give you a bit of an overview of the membership and what it's all about. So, first question for you all. Have you watched either the live teach that I did Wednesday just gone, or the Absolute Beginner Week 1 taster session? So if you've watched one or the other or both, again, just drop us a comment, let us know which one. They went well. Technology didn't let me down. I was a bit worried, especially the Wednesday night. I wasn't too worried about the Absolute Beginner, but the Wednesday night I was a bit worried because the previous Wednesday, O2 had cell maintenance in the area, and they were telling me they were having more cell maintenance on our Wednesday the 28th. Luckily, 28th went without a hitch, which was really good, and yeah, that was good. Got lots of good feedback from it. Everybody that watched it seemed to enjoy them, which is all good. What I did on Wednesday is what I do every Wednesday. So I go live as part of the membership, depending on what you're here for. The membership now seems to be not split in 2, but there's 2 elements to it, and you can pick and choose which one is for you, or both, maybe both. So the main membership, what we've been doing since November when I launched, I go live every Wednesday at 8:30 p.m. That's Greenwich Mean Time, or if you're around the world, that's UTC, Universal Time Zone. I go live at 8:30 p.m. and I teach 2 dances. Every week I teach a new beginner dance and a new improver dance. Within the scales, within the realms of beginner and improver, obviously there's a wide swing. You go from absolute beginner right through to beginner plus. So some weeks it might be an easy beginner dance. Next week it might be a more challenging beginner dance. Same with improver. One week it might be a nice easy one. One week it might be beginner plus. Next week it might be bang in the middle. So they're within the beginner and the improver, but they're each on their own spectrums, if you like. I teach it, as you saw, if you watched the Wednesday, I teach it, I do a full teach, I stand on stage, I teach it as if you were all in the hall with me. I had 400 over the 2 events, I had 420 people registered over the 2 events. Wouldn't have been able to get 420 people in my hall. Could probably get 50 or 60, but not 420. But I teach as if you are in the building. I break down the dance, I teach you sets of 4 or 8 counts, we practice them, we do the next set of steps, we practice them, we put it together, we do the next set, we practice them, we put it together. We build up. I teach exactly like I would in class, as if you were there. Once I've taught all the steps, we practice them to the 4 walls, then we put them all together, we go round the room without stopping, and then when we're happy, when we've got the steps, I put the music on. Each Wednesday we dance both the beginner and the improver dance twice. First time through, I will call it. I will call the steps, I'll point you in the right direction, tell you where you're going. Second time round, I leave you on your own. I count you in, I call any tags or restarts, but other than that, I leave you on your own. That's just to get it into your mind. And that's how I teach a class. It's exactly how I teach a class. A new week 1 teach will always have 2 dance throughs. So that's the live teach, that's the Wednesday. The Absolute Beginner is brand new. I had lots of requests, I had lots of people going, oh, I see you've got a membership. Do you do Absolute Beginner? No, I don't, but maybe I should. And here we are. So week 1, the Thursday which we've just done, was week 1. That was my first week as if you never danced a step. And I taught 3 absolute beginner dances, breaking down the steps and teaching the routines. For that one, slightly different. With the Wednesday, I teach a beginner, I teach an improver, we don't revisit it. The following week, I teach a new beginner and a new improver. It's there for you to use as and when, however you want. Because the Absolute Beginner's a bit different, because they're brand new, them a little bit more. So in week 2, so next Wednesday, Absolute Beginner week 2 will be on Wednesday the 7th of March. I'll teach a new dance, Mamma Maria. For any of you that know, I've got Mamma Maria, which is a good classic staple Absolute Beginner dance. And then we'll revise the 3 we did in week 1. In week 3, I'll teach a new dance. Then we'll revise the week 2 dance and week 1 dances. So each week we'll build it up. I reckon it's very time dependent. I'm aiming to have the Absolute Beginner, both sessions are around 45 to 55 minutes. That's my aim. with the time that we've got for the absolute beginners, I reckon we'll probably do each of the dances for maybe 5 weeks. Once we've done them for 5 weeks, hopefully you'll know them. Hopefully there's enough there in catch up that if you do want to revisit it, you can go back and do that. And then you can dance them freestyle. I'll do a freestyle playlist of our absolute beginner dances, so you can just put on your favourite dances and dance them at home. Hope all that makes sense. So the other parts of the membership, as well as the weekly bits, the weekly live teachers and the weekly absolute beginner sessions, we do a monthly Zoom chit chat. So we get together on a Friday night and just chit chat. There's no agenda, there's absolutely, I might have a few things to say and remind people of dates and bits and bobs. I might have a few questions. How are things going? How did you find that dance? Did that work for you? But it's just a chit chat. People come along, we grab a cup of tea, or a gin and tonic, or a glass of wine, whatever you like, and we just talk all things line dance and membership. People have questions. Sometimes it's related to what we've been doing, sometimes it isn't. Yeah, just again 45 minutes to an hour, and it's a good catch up for me. It's a good gauge because I never see you. I spend my life talking to cameras. I'm very good at it, aren't I? I can talk for England. I do spend my life talking to cameras, so actually the Zoom catch up for me is really useful because I actually get actual feedback and I get to see all your faces. I see all your names on Facebook, but actually I can see your faces and actually get to know you a little bit. So that's our monthly Zoom chit chat. Have a slurp of tea while it's in my hand. Since we started, when we started back in November, it was a very rough and ready membership. I didn't really know what I was doing. I was making it up as I went along. My founding members, I had 35 founding members that joined me, and I was very, very grateful and overjoyed and humbled and privileged that 35 people put their trust in me to teach them line dancing online. And between the 36 of us, the members and myself, we've evolved the membership a little bit. So we now have, as requested by those founding members, and it's working really well, we do a 6-weekly revision night. So at the end of each 6-week block, which we've just finished, I put a post into our closed Facebook community and I ask people to vote on their favourite dances. The top 2 beginner dances and the top 2 improver dances, I then revise. So it's a pre-recorded session. I do pre-record it, but it goes live on a Friday evening at 7 PM. People can either join at 7 PM and do it with me, or they can do it in catch up. Everything is available on catch up. So if you're not there when it goes live, you can always watch it on catch up. The absolute beginners, they're all pre-recorded as well, but it makes no difference. It's still me in a hall teaching and I don't edit it. So if I make mistakes, you get them. You get warts and all. So yeah, the revision night, we do a 1 wall go. We quickly walk through it. I remind you of the steps. We might practice 1 or 2 walls and then we go with it. So the idea is you've learnt it in the live teach. Hopefully you've practiced it a little bit in between. And then the revision night's a bit of a revision social evening. Get about an hour. We've just done our second one this Friday, just gone. Just put in a 6-weekly blast from the past. So I was getting lots of requests for old dances, and I don't feel the old classics sit within the membership. For me, the membership is about the new dances that are up and coming, the new dances that are popular, the new dances that the bands are singing, that are getting danced out. So all these blasts from the past, I couldn't work out how to get them in. So every 6 weeks now, again, pre-recorded, but I do a 45-minute to an hour session on a Friday night again, but it's available on catch up. And I teach 3 old classic dances. So Blast from the Past 2, which we've just done. I did The Long Way Home, Mamma Mia, Why Me, and Wagon Wheel Rock. Now the good news for anybody that's listening to this, that's thinking about joining the membership or that's already joined, everything we've done since the beginning of November, so 17 weeks worth of live teaches, 17 beginner dances, 17 improver dances, 2 revision nights, 3rd revision night is week after next, and 2 Blast from the Past nights, it's all available in catch up. So I'm not saying you have to do it all. If you want to do it all, you're more than welcome. If you want to start at the beginning and do them all, that's fine. Or you could cherry pick. If you have a look at the list of dances that I've done, if there's dances that you've seen out and about, music that you like, that you want to do, just do those dances. It's absolutely fine. It's in catch up. It's there for you to use however you see fit. So just to wrap it all up, the membership is then spearheaded. It all comes together in our closed, safe Facebook community. We have a Facebook group, members only. It's a nice, safe, happy place where we can talk about all things line dance, general catch-ups, and that is on Facebook. So if you join, you'll get an invitation to join that Facebook group. I have created a second closed members only Facebook group for the absolute beginners. Obviously the absolute beginners are going to be a slightly different stage to everybody else, so I thought it might be quite a nice thing to have a place just for them, just so we can discuss absolute dances. And yeah, I'd suggest the absolute beginners probably want to be in both, because there's a lot of announcements and whatnot in the actual members group, but the absolute beginner group will be just for them, just as a safe environment, so we can sort of, yeah, chat and where it won't get diluted with everything else. Lastly, the membership helps support my YouTube channel. My YouTube channel has been going 7 years. I've got over 600 videos on YouTube now. I think there's about 560 public videos, and I think it's quite a bit over 600, but it doesn't actually count the unlisted private members only videos, which is a shame. But yeah, YouTube channel's going really, really well. But this membership helps support that. Yeah, I think that's the membership really. I suppose the last thing to say before I do the question and answer, and I haven't got many questions and answers, so I'm sort of filling this with stuff that you might already know. If you've been on the website and you read it all, you might already know that, so I do apologise. The other thing, I suppose, to wrap up the membership, when I created the membership, I put it together because I felt it was going to be a add-on to those that go to class. You go to class each week, you want some extra practice. Maybe you want to learn some different dances, maybe you want to learn some dances that the bands are doing, maybe you just want to dance at home. What happened when I took on my 35 founding members, very quickly, everybody had their own reason for joining, which kind of surprised me. We've got members that go to classes regular, we've got members that go to classes on a Wednesday night, so can't join me live. And they do use it as additional practice, learn extra dances. I've got people that don't go to classes. I've got people that used to go to classes but don't anymore. I've got people that can't get to classes because of location or time or level. I've got people for various reasons that can't leave the house. I've got people that can't physically, health-wise, do a whole line dance class. So actually doing it online gives them an outlet to do some dancing, but they can do as much or as little as they like. They can press pause, they can sit down, they can, yeah. So everybody's got slightly different reasons for joining. I don't mind why you join. If you can see the benefit, if you can see the use, if you think you'll use it and you'll get value out of it, come join us. If you don't think you'll get any benefit out of it, or you don't think you'll use it, you don't see the value, don't join us, that's fine. I'm a huge advocate of going to classes. If somebody was to say, I want to learn line dancing, my first thing would be find a class. But that's not easy. That's especially at beginner levels, in fairness. But even at the higher levels, they're not always close, or they're not on the night that you want them to be. So yeah, lots of people have got lots of reasons for joining the membership, and I'm happy with any of them. I'm happy that people are joining me in dancing. Like I say, everything we do, the weekly lives, are all on catch-up. The absolute beginner lessons are pre-recorded, so they're all on catch-up. Both 6-week sessions are on catch-up, so you can use it how and when. If you want to dance at 4 o'clock in the morning, you can, because it's there. It's there for you, and it's all those sessions are members only. Now, I will say, I will just throw in this caveat at that stage. Everything I teach will, at some stage, go onto YouTube as public videos, but the members get the live stream. They get me in real time teaching, dancing it through. Mistakes as well. Have I mentioned mistakes? We have a lot of mistakes. I say we, it's the royal we, it's me. I used to make lots of mistakes in class. I still make lots of mistakes in class, although my 2 classes I'm currently running are both easy beginner. They started as absolute beginner 6 months ago. They're both now easy beginner. So I don't make too many mistakes in class. If any of my class members are watching this, I'll let them comment and put that right. On videos, I do make a fair few mistakes, miss the countings, get 3 walls in and my feet go the wrong way, forget steps, talk dances and forgot 2 counts of step. But most of the members seem to be okay with that. They get I'm human, and I think they quite like the fact that we go wrong. We all go wrong, it's fine. We line dance, we don't go wrong, we dance with variations. That's my excuse and I'm sticking to it. Okay, so let's answer your questions. Like I say, I haven't got many questions and I'm not really seeing any comments. I don't know if there's any. I'll tell you what I'll do. I won't do it that way. Okay, so the questions I've had. That's fine. So these questions are just questions. They might be to do with the membership. They might be to do with line dancing. But I'm going to read them out and I'm going to answer them. They might not necessarily be directly relevant to the membership, but I'll give you my views because I asked for questions and that's what I got. So Dawn asked, why do some instructors not like to count it out? I've been watching you and doing okay, but with the live local woman, she doesn't count much except when we start. Good question. I don't count much if I'm honest. I wished I counted more. Why instructors choose to or not to, it's the way they've been taught. Nobody leaves school and thinks to themselves, I'm going to be a line dance instructor. That's not how line dance instructors work. Generally, people, me, started line dancing at the tender age of 16, absolutely loved it. And then about the age of 24, I guess, 2004, yes, 24, I took over a class. I've been helping out at this class and for one reason or another, the instructor wanted to give it up, so I took it over. That's how I started line dance teaching. So my teaching style, the way I teach on video is two things. It's an amalgamation of all the different dance instructors I've been to over the years. I've taken all the best bits in my opinion and that's how I teach. And then also 20 years I've picked up my own habits, my own things I say, the things I do. You don't come to real classes. Online I'm very good. I don't sing. In real classes, in-person classes, I'm singing more and more. I feel like a backing singer to the line dance track, which isn't good because I really can't sing. But you don't get that online, which is quite nice. But yeah, it's just an evolution. I wish I counted more. I quite like counting, if I'm absolutely honest. If it's tricky, if there's some and counts in weird places, or if there's a lot of and counts, I might do a wall with the count just to sort of get the timing and help people out. But I don't do it often. I don't do it as much as I should, if I'm honest. So yeah, there's no real right or way of doing it. It's what works. I think I've been teaching 20 years in November. That's scary. So yeah, 19 and a half years I've done. When I do in-person classes, if I don't need to count it, if they get the dance, then I don't deem it. If they're struggling with the count, if they're struggling with the timing of it, then I might put the count in, but it's very rare it happens. I hope that answers that question. Joan asked, hang on, pull that back up. Joan asked, where is it being held? I did answer this online because I wasn't quite sure what the question was on. So the membership is done online. Everything we do is done online. Good point, Joan. Actually, I'm going to add something in here which I haven't mentioned yet. So, with the live teaches, the Wednesday sessions, it's streamed in two places. My preferred, I would encourage you to watch on our dedicated dance streaming platform powered by Everything Line Dance. So everythinglinedance.com is a big line dance website and they have their own streaming service. So we go live on their streaming service every Wednesday. That, in my opinion, is the best place to watch. You can see me live. There's a chat function. There's also a catch-up function. I will show, when we do the members welcome, I will take you through that platform and show you all the bits and bobs. When we started back in November, we did have a few problems with it. It wasn't Everything Line Dance, it was data service. So when I go live on 5G. And those first few weeks was dodgy. Touch wood, ever since about week 5, we've been okay. But because we had problems in those first couple of weeks, I then started going live in our private members Facebook group. So it's members only in this Facebook group. So I do a second live simultaneously on Facebook. So you can watch it there. So you can watch it on Everything Line Dance or Facebook. When the pre-recorded stuff goes out, the Absolute Beginner and the Blast from the Past revision nights, they're pre-recorded. So they go onto YouTube, they go on as unlisted videos, and I give the link to the members. Generally, I put it on the Facebook groups. I might email it out as well, just depending what it is. So you get the link to the YouTube, but only you can see that. It's on YouTube, but nobody else can see it. Only paid members can see it. So I'm not sure whether that was actually what Joan was asking, but that's the answer I'm going to give. And then my last question came by email today. Again, good question. Came on email, so I thought I'm going to pop it in here because this is the best place to talk about it. So, V said, "Hi Richard, I wasn't able to share your broadcast via Chromecast on Wednesday, and it was quite hard to follow on a small phone screen." So yeah, it's not, I wouldn't recommend anybody watch me on a small phone screen. It's not easy. Minimum I would suggest, if you've got it, would be an iPad. Barbara's asked a good question about passwords, which I will answer. That's a good question, Barbara, thank you. Yeah, I wouldn't suggest watching on iPad. No, I wouldn't suggest watching on phones. iPads, Kindles, whatever you can get video on, I'd say is a minimum. Ideally, if you can get us on the laptop, on the computer, or if you can stream it onto your TV. So Everything Line Dance is a dedicated dance service that you get on the internet. So if you can pull up an internet page on your TV, or if you can find it on your phone and cast it onto your TV, an internet page, then you can watch Everything Line Dance on your TV. If you can cast YouTube or Facebook onto your TV, then you can do Facebook for the lives, or you can do YouTube for the pre-recorded. It's all down to your technology, and I'm not huge on technology. I did have, when we started our membership back in November, I did feel quite guilty, I have to say. I can't remember who this was now, but one of my members went out and bought a new TV just so they could see me on a Wednesday. Now that's dedication. I'm quite impressed, but I also felt a bit bad. So yeah, it comes down to your technology. Like I say, if you've got a laptop, you should be able to pull up the internet page, either Facebook or YouTube, Everything Line Dance, and watch on there. If you can, cast me onto your TV, absolutely brilliant, or on the iPad. Barbara has just asked a very good question, which I think, Barbara, was in your members' welcome. Barbara has joined us. I'm really pleased Barbara has joined us. I think it was in your welcome email. I will double check. So, because we had O2 potential data outages on Wednesday, I got quite nervous about the live stream. And I ummed and ahed previously, but in the end, I sent out the Everything Line Dance password, which on one hand was quite good because people could go onto Everything Line Dance and actually see the streaming platform. A couple of people I think had problems with it, so again, in the members welcome on Friday, which I will record and put out on Catch Up. On Friday I'll go through. I keep getting notifications and I can't do two things at once. I am a man after all. I've lost the thread again. On Friday, I will go through Everything Line Dance and show you the streaming platform. But yeah, I put out the password for Everything Line Dance, which showed people the platform, which I'm quite happy with. The password is changing Wednesday morning. What I've done for the people that have joined, people that have paid their membership and joined us, on your welcome email, Barbara, I believe you will have the joining instructions, the username and the existing password, and then you've got the new password. So I'm going to request it gets changed. I have to email to request it gets changed. Usually it's pretty good. Usually I send the email and within a couple of hours it's done. So Wednesday night, if the new password doesn't work, try the old password. It will be one or the other. It will be nothing else. It will either be the old password or the new password. But I would imagine by the time we get to 8:30 p.m. Greenwich Mean Time, the new password should kick in. So yeah, the password is changing, and obviously if you're not a member, if you haven't subscribed, then you won't get in, I'm afraid. I'm not afraid at all. I lie. Obviously the membership doors, I shouldn't say obviously. Membership doors are now open. They are open until Thursday the 7th of March. They will close at midnight on Thursday the 7th. If you want to come to the live teachers on Wednesday the 6th, or you want immediate access to the Absolute Beginner Week 2 session on Thursday the 7th, you need to make sure you subscribe before. I suggest by 3 o'clock on that day. If you subscribe, if you go through the subscription and pay up, by 3 p.m. on the Wednesday, I'll make sure you have the links and the passwords to get on that night. Same for Thursday. Obviously, if you do miss that, it is in catch-up, you can go back, but if you want to be in on that live on Wednesday, or you want to do the week 2 on Thursday, please make sure you subscribe. So, last things I've got to say, I haven't really caught up with any questions. I've only seen that one appear. So I will go back, I will have a look at your questions. Like I say, I will answer them online, and I will answer them again tonight at 8 PM. So the last thing I was going to say is the subscription. If you go to the website, it is linked to these videos, but the website is www.learntolinedancewithrichard.co.uk. in two places, on the home page when you first go in, but also on the members page, the membership page, not the members page, the membership page, which tells you all about the membership. There is a box that says, please subscribe here, something along those lines. It's powered by PayPal, so you have two options. There's two buttons. There's an orangey gold button. If you click on the PayPal gold button, it takes you through PayPal. If you have a PayPal account, you sign into your account and you can subscribe that way. If you've got a PayPal account, that's your best way of doing it, because you can then manage the subscription. You can cancel that at any stage and you have full control over that. With the membership, there's no minimum term. I didn't talk price either, did I? It's written down on my sheet, but I didn't say it. There's no minimum term. You can cancel whenever you want. Finish on the PayPal. Second option on the website when you go into the subscribe here button is pay by debit or credit card. So it's still powered by PayPal, but you don't have to have an account. So if you click on that, it'll take you through to a page, you put in all your details. It will ask you, do you want to have a PayPal account? And you can say yes or no. If you put no, that's fine. The payment is set up, it's a reoccurring payment. It's £12.50 a month. That is the monthly cost. And it sets it up. If you pay by debit credit card, two things. If you need to cancel, email me. Send me an email and I will cancel it. I can do it really quickly, really easily. It's not a problem. I'll probably ask for a reason because it's always nice to know, but I can manage it my end. You can't manage it your end because you haven't got a PayPal account. We have had a couple of problems with that over the last few months, but I can cancel it really easily, or I can pause it. I've got somebody at the moment that's off sick. They can't be joining in, they can't be dancing. They didn't want to leave the membership, but they also didn't want to be paying. So I've paused their membership for 3 months, see how they get on, and I'll touch base with them and then start up their membership again when they're ready to come back. So yeah, I can manage that my end really easily. So you can either sign up via PayPal account or you can sign up by debit credit card. I know there's a few people out there that really don't like PayPal. For me, I believe it's as safe as houses. I touch wood. I've never had a problem with PayPal. PayPal is owned by eBay, so you don't get much bigger than that as far as I'm concerned. It's not a tin pot company or a sole trader out there. It's a big corporation. I've never had a problem with it, but if you've got a huge issue with PayPal, but you still want to join, send me an email. I do have a backup payment system. PayPal for me is a lot easier and a lot more straightforward, but there is a backup system in place. So yeah, drop me an email and we can sort that out directly. I think I'm just going to check my sheet. Excuse me. I've done that. I've done £12.50. £12.50. So this is a membership. It's a lifetime membership. You pay £12.50 a month, not £12.50 once for lifetime, because that's just silly. You pay £12.50. That is your membership band. You come in at £12.50. You will only ever pay £12.50 a month. That will never, ever increase. If the membership goes up, so I'm going to open the doors again in September, and I'm going to open the doors again next March. If costs go up, if costs of technology go up, if hall costs go up, if all the costs that I have to pay out to pull all this together goes up, I may have to increase the fee, but I won't increase your fee. If you join us now before the 7th of March, you are on the £12.50 pay rate, and that will be your pay rate for as long as you're here. For the life of your membership, for as long as you stay with us, that is how much you will pay. If it goes up, the new people will pay the new rate. Hope that makes sense. Okay, I don't like going down here because you can see my bald head, which is shiny in these lights. I'm just going to quickly see if I can find any questions. Let me have a look. So I'm live there. Have you all been commenting and talking? Okay, let's have a quick look. So Gary's watching from Chesterfield. What made you want to teach people to line dance? Good question, Gary. I like that. I followed you during lockdown and I enjoyed one of your line dance teachers. What made me want to teach line dance? I think there's two questions in there. So going right back, let's start at the very beginning. We've got about 10 minutes left together, so I can fill 10 minutes with that question. Going right back at the tender age of about 14, 15, I was taken to Disneyland Paris. And the highlight of Disneyland Paris was not Space Mountain or seeing Mickey Mouse or all those things. I loved it, all of that, don't get me wrong. Really grateful and lucky to go. I loved all of that. But my takeaway, my precious memory was the food outlet, I don't know what to call it, music outlet called Billy Bob's. So it was a full-on Western arena, big dance floor, big stage, wings and ribs and stuff, and I loved it. And that was my first time I came across country music. We had a band on stage, they were all line dancing, and I was mesmerised. I loved it. So at the tender age of 16, I got an opportunity to go to one evening of line dance, and I dragged some much older friends along with me. I say much older, I was 16, and a couple of them were in their 60s. And we went along and we did a one night of line dance, and I loved it again. I then found a class, and yeah, that's the end of that really. I did 8 years just as a social dancer, travelled here, there and everywhere. And then I'd already got it in my head I wanted to teach, and I was helping out this instructor in Medway. And for a couple of reasons she wanted to give up this class, so I took it over. And that was my first class. That was November 2004. I was actually with some of my original Super Trooper, that's my line dance class, the Super Trooper Line Dance Club. I was with some of my original Super Trooper Line Dance class members last night, and the instructor that gave me that class. And as they say, the rest is history. Second part of that question though. So Gary asked, why did you want to teach line dance? So I just loved it, and I wanted to pass that on. I wanted to be more involved in. Why did I want to teach online? How did I get here? So, taught for many, many years. At one stage I was working at a university, and they were doing a mental health well-being exercise kick, and I was asked, they knew I taught, I was asked to teach line dancing, 45-minute session at lunchtime. So I did that for a few weeks, but it wasn't long enough. 45 minutes is not a long time. As you know from the lives events, you need to sort of go back and do it a couple more times. So I decided to give the people that were coming, there was about 12 of them, to give them a little bit more practice in between the weekly class, I'd put some videos on YouTube. And if you look at some of my original videos, if you go into the YouTube channel and look at the Absolute Beginner Week 1, not one step forward, funnily enough, Electric Slide, Mama Maria, Crazy Postman, the videos are awful. The lighting is awful, the sound is awful, teaching's okay-ish. But the lighting is definitely awful and the sound's not much better. 600 videos better. They always say to get good at something it takes 10,000 hours. 600 videos later, I think the lighting, I struggled with lighting last week funnily enough, but the lighting and the sound is a lot better than it was. So yeah, that's how the YouTube channel started, and I put a fair few videos on there. And then of course COVID hit and all my classes shut down. But I'd got 200 people that were already following me on YouTube. So and I had nothing else to do because we were in lockdown. I couldn't do line dance classes. I couldn't go to work. So as soon as I was able to hire the hall, I went in the hall and started teaching online. Started putting videos together. As soon as we were allowed back to classes in socially distanced format, I couldn't have everybody in the room. I'd got 2 classes, and one of the classes had like 60 people in an evening. I couldn't have 60 people in the hall. I think I was limited to 12. So I then went live. That was my first finger in the pie for live. I'd teach at the front, the camera would be behind me, the 12 people would be behind the camera, and then anybody that couldn't be in the hall could join at home. And actually those lockdown lives that Gary first watched are still on the YouTube. If you go onto the YouTube channel, look at playlists, there's a whole section on there of lockdown lives. I think I did it for 14 weeks. So yeah, that's how I got into the whole YouTube. So my YouTube channel now, we're pushing, we're not there yet. I think this morning we were up to something like 7,754 subscribers. Well done, and thank you to all those subscribers. Thank you for being here. We're gaining about 250 subscribers a month, which is a bit mind-blowing for me. That's a huge amount of people hitting that button every month. I'm uploading new videos, which is nice. I did have a 3-year hiatus. After COVID, I moved to Essex and I didn't teach anywhere. I didn't put anything on YouTube, but the channel kept growing. People kept joining. So actually being back to teaching, being back to real classes, being back to putting stuff on YouTube is really good. I'm thoroughly enjoying it. Hope that answers your question, Gary. That was a very long-winded answer. Okay, Carol asks, how many weeks do you keep a new dance going in class? So in actual classes, in my actual beginner class, I'm going to call them beginner, they're easy beginner, I try, time allowing, we have 60 minutes in class, I try to keep a new dance going for 6 weeks. So week 1's the longest teach, week 2, week 3 is sort of a slightly shorter teach, but still quite full on. Week 4, week 5 is a quicker teach and maybe a whiz round all 4 walls. And then week 6 is usually a 1 wall go. This is what it looks like, let's do it. Providing they can do it at that stage, it then slips into the freestyle session. So I always warm up in my actual in-person classes, I always warm up people with a freestyle dance at the beginning or 2, and then cools down at the end with a couple. So once they've got it through the 6 weeks worth of teaching, it will then go into rotation where it will be one of their freestyle dances. Good question. Online, the live teachers, the Wednesday, it's one hit wonder. I do it, you've then got that for life. You can go back and revisit that as many times as you like. And what I would say is do the live teach on a Wednesday, the following Wednesday do the next live teach, and then go back to the previous. Now you might want to do the full teach again, which is fine, you can do that. Or after a couple of weeks, you might just want to jump in halfway through and just do the 4 walls. Or you might just want to put the music in and have me talk it through. So you can sort of choose where you start if you like. It's almost like a pick your own line dance class structure. If only that was a thing. Diane watched both, excellent, really pleased. Barbara asked about the password. So that's all my questions in YouTube. Let me just see if I can find this on Facebook. Facebook never leaves you where you start. Okay, I've only got 1 comment, which was possibly me saying hi. Yes, no comments on Facebook. I'm not actually sure if many people have watched in Facebook. Can I see? 47 minutes ago. No, I can't see if I'm absolutely honest. Okay, I'm going to wrap that up there. If you're watching in catch-up, if you've watched me yak to myself for the last 42 minutes, drop us a comment, let us know what you thought to all that. If you're ready to join us, if I've answered all your questions and you now understand how it's all going to work, then go join us. www.learn2linedancewithrichard.co.uk. Link is in this video. Go and find that subscribe here button, and love to have you on board, really would. If you're absolute beginner, if you've watched this and you're absolute beginner, I've got my Zoom absolute beginner at 3 o'clock. So in about 20 minutes time, I'm going to go on to Zoom. I will record the Zoom absolute beginners chit chat. I can then talk, anybody that's looking to join as absolute beginner, then I can talk to you directly and I'll answer your questions and your worries and your anxieties or whatever you've got. So that's going to be on YouTube, and like I say, I'll record that and I'll put a catch up thereafter. I've got another Q&A tonight being Saturday the 2nd of March at 8 PM. Same session as this, but different people might want to join if they're not available during the day. I'm doing this from the top of my head, so I'm hoping I'm going to get this right. I didn't write this down. Actually, I did write this down. Did I write it down? I've got a second absolute beginner Zoom, so if you can't do the 3 o'clock session, I've got a second absolute beginner Zoom on Monday at... I've written down 4 PM, but that's not right. Yeah, I told you I didn't know what I was talking about. Monday evening, I've got an absolute beginner Zoom and a general Zoom. So if you've watched this, but you actually want to come and talk to me and see me face to face and actually have a conversation, I've got a general Zoom on Monday evening. Now, one of the Zooms is at 7 o'clock and one is at 8 o'clock. I think it's 50-50. I think the general Zoom is at 7 o'clock and the absolute beginner Zoom is at 8 o'clock, I think. So if you want more information, if you want to join me again, please do. If you haven't watched the taster sessions, if you haven't watched Wednesday's live teach, or if applicable, Thursday's absolute beginner week 1, do have a look. You should have it in your email. It is also on our Facebook page and our Facebook public group. You might have to scroll back a little bit, but the links are in there. So do go and watch those. Let me know what you think. I'm going to wrap it up. Bang on 45 minutes. I'm good at this. Thank you for joining me. Hope you've enjoyed. Hope that was informative. If you're ready, go hit subscribe. Take care all. Bye.